with no further ado, I want to introduce Frank Vogel as the Lakers head coach.
Thank you, Rob. Hello, everyone. I want to start by thanking Jeannie Buss and the entire Buss family, Rob Pelinka, Kurt Rambis, for showing faith in me to be their next coach. This is obviously a proud and historic franchise, and it's a big honor for me to be here today and to be responsible for this next chapter of our history. The focus for our group has got to be to remain in the moment. Okay, there's obviously been a lot of outside noise like there is with every NBA team, but there's been a lot of outside noise that we're going to be tasked with blocking out. There's going to be a lot of talk of getting our team back into the playoffs and what the Lakers represent in terms of a tradition of competing for championships. Those are end result things. Okay, we are going to be focused on the work. Okay, the day-to-day, stay in the moment. How do we get better at practice? How do we win the next game? Focus on the task at hand, okay, and then those accolades, those achievements, those results, they will come. We have a strong plan about how we're going to get this job done, okay, starting with Rob's plan for how he's going to continue to build the roster, how we're going to continue to grow the roster, but I got a strong plan with how we're going to play as a basketball team, and I'm really, really excited about the chance to instill my beliefs of how it's going to look offensively. Like I said, playing for each other, having an analytics-based approach to playing the game outside in, using the three-point line and the space that creates to open up a really strong basket-attacking team. Okay, and then defensively, building the defense from the inside out. Okay, with all the talk of the three-point line, okay, it's still most important to build your defense inside to out. The basket is still the top priority. The paint is still the top priority. Okay, and then we will spray out and guard the three-point line. Okay, the plan is exciting. We're excited about it. And with that said, I will open it up to questions.
Rob, Magic Johnson did an interview this morning in which he said that he felt like you betrayed him when you guys were working together. What was your reaction to him saying that, and do you believe that's a fair assessment of your relationship?
I think the most important thing for me is the 2 years of getting to work side by side with Irvin are some of the greatest memories I have in sports and work. He's an unbelievable person to work with. He fills the room with joy and vision. And truly it's saddening and disheartening to think he believes things are a misperception. I think all of us in life probably have been through things where maybe there's third-party whispers or he said, she said things that aren't true. And then I have talked to him several times since he decided to step away. We've had many joy-filled conversations. In fact, 2 days ago, we were reliving the combine and the fourth pick and talking about the great future that this franchise has. So these things are surprising to hear and disheartening. But I look forward to the opportunity to talk with him and sit down with him and work through them, just like in any relationship, because they're just simply not true. I stand beside him. I stand with him as a colleague, as a partner. I've always supported everything he's done and will continue to. And, you know, I think that's the best way to address that.
We know that you guys did speak to some other coaching candidates before you settled on Frank, and obviously Monty Williams and Ty Lue seem to be higher choices. What went wrong in that coaching search? And, you know, all due respect to Frank, there were other people you intended to hire before him.
I think the important thing of any process is to be open-minded and to be methodical and to be prepared. And I think at the start of this, we had a committee of people internally that we had many names around. Frank was one of those strong names. And throughout the process, he just continued to emerge as someone that had those qualities I talked about at the beginning of this. And we celebrate that. He is the coach. He's the right guy for this job. Everyone's aligned with what he stands for. We're going to fully support him and really look forward.
Have you talked to LeBron before, during, or after the process being chosen as head coach? And can you tell me about those conversations if you have?
I have spoken to him after I was hired, not before. And, the nature of that conversation, and you'll learn about me, most of my conversations with our players will remain private, but I will say that it was very positive. There's an excitement about what we can be and what we can accomplish, and that I'm looking forward to getting started with them.
Free agency is going to be big again for this franchise for a second summer in a row. Are you worried or concerned about what Magic said today? Free agents might judge you or the organization off of what he said?
I think that all we can do is do the work, and that's what we're going to stay committed to, is just doing excellent work. And I think if people take a look at where this franchise is right now, we have a great coach. Again, we have a high draft pick. We have a great young core, maybe one of the best in the league. We have a superstar on our team and an open slot. So I think that people can look at this as an opportunity to come and win a championship possibly next year. And we've got to do the work. I think being concerned about the outside noise or the opinions of, what people may or may not think is really not where our focus is right now. Our focus is on doing good work. That's what our fans expect. My commitment is to not worry about the opinion or what other people may be saying, but it's to just do the work. That's what our fans are asking of us, and that's what they expect, and we will put in the work to have an incredibly successful roster and team next year.
Magic said this morning that he had heard from a lot of people around the league that you weren't to be trusted. How concerned are you about that reputation being there, and if so, what can you do to potentially try to change it?
Yeah, I think, I guess first and foremost, we do want today to be about Coach Vogel, but I think, again, my job is to not worry about what other people may think or say about me as a person. My job is to do the work on what's best for this franchise, and that's where my focus is. I think we all know in sports that when you're winning, great things are said. When a team loses, the naysayers and the negativity comes out. That's just the nature of this business. And right now we're coming off a season where we lost. So I really, again, we're not going to be caught up in the poll of public opinion or media polls, but really just keep our head focused on doing good work, getting to a place where we win, and that's the most important thing.
Are you worried, just to follow up, are you worried at all that the reports or the explosive interview that Magic Johnson did, that it creates this image of disarray around the organization? And what can you do to give confidence to potential free agents that there is some stability here?
I think the most important thing is that players look to who we really are and not what the impression is of what others are trying to create us to be. And I think all of us know when we come to work every day that there is stability and strength and togetherness here. I think, Frank, you could talk about how you experienced that in the interview process, but I think for any of us, we know who we are in ourselves. We know the characteristics and qualities we stand for, and we know as a staff and feel very strongly that if people judge and evaluate us for who we are as an organization and the vision and path we have going forward, we feel there'll be a very, very strong appeal for the great players to come here.
Yeah, and what I'd like to add, quite frankly, is the perception of our organization is very far from the reality, from my experience coming in here, of just the thoroughness of the work, the collaboration of how things are being done with the decision making, and quite frankly, there's a lot of positivity. I am a positive energy, enthusiasm type of a coach, and I'm going to spread that to everybody that will feel it. And it's just one of those things that, I understand what the perception is when you lose for a few years and some things happen, like that can happen, okay? But there's a positive vibe happening with our team right now. There really is, okay? And, it's just one of those things that you're just going to have to wait and see, okay? But you're going to be happy with the product that we put on the floor this year and where we're going as an organization. You really are.